Hey, it's Jack. Welcome back. We're doing a therapeutic art activity today. If this is the first video of mine that you're watching, I'm a therapeutic arts facilitator. I have a whole full-length video on what that is. It's like in the same vein as art therapy, but it's a little bit different. Basically, I facilitate therapeutic experiences or insights through art making. So if that's something that you're into, subscribe. I try to post every week. So what I'm making today is my abstract affirmations diary. If you want to follow along with me, it's really easy to do and it just takes like 10 minutes. And it can really help you shift your mindset for the day. So all that you have to do is pick an affirmation for the day. It can be something that you think that you did really well, or you can just search online and find an affirmation that you think would help you or that you resonate with. And then sit down and take like 10 minutes trying to channel that into a doodle or a mini painting. For some inspiration, the first page of my affirmations diary that I'm doing right now, the affirmation that I picked was I am creative. So if you're doing this activity with me, then you can also use that affirmation because you're sitting down and you're creating. This is an activity that I made into a therapeutic art activity inspired by Affirmations Diaries. So it combines the benefits of daily affirmations and art making. Daily affirmations are really helpful in rewiring your thinking from self-critical and negative self-talk into more constructive, positive self-talk, and noticing your strengths and building those up. You really get the most benefits from daily affirmations by doing them every day. You might not feel like there's that authentic of a shift in your thinking from just doing it one time. And I would encourage you to try it for like a week and then see how you feel. This is something that really has helped me tremendously. Just the other day, my husband was pointing out to me how from his perspective, I'm such a positive thinker, and that when something is going wrong, I'm always looking for solutions and looking for the positive in that situation. And I always look for the positive in other people and try to build them up. And it's crazy because I was reflecting on where I was when I started doing affirmations and therapeutic art. And I really, for a long period of my life, was such a self-critical person and really saw myself and the world in such a negative light because I had such negative experiences that coded the way that I see myself and the world. I feel like I was always just inches away from rock bottom thinking and feeling, and there would be moments where I would feel more positively, but they would fade really fast. It was never really my normal state of being to just be okay. And when I started doing affirmations, it was really hard for me actually. It felt like I was lying to myself. It felt to me like there were some people out there that were good at affirmations because they had good qualities, and that I wouldn't be good at affirmations because I didn't have good qualities, and that if I was trying to do it, I was just faking myself out or lying to myself. And so in my opinion, that's why I think when you start off doing affirmations, you should pick something that you honestly see some truth in. Affirmations have kind of taken over as a trend, and some of them don't resonate with a lot of people. If you sit there telling yourself I'm so popular and I'm a millionaire and I can do anything, but you're actually looking at your life and it doesn't reflect that, it can seed those negative like self-criticisms even more. So I like to start small. I'm trying to think of what one of my first affirmations was. One of my first affirmations was, I make little steps every day in a positive direction, or something like that. It's good to like go online and find like a list of affirmations and find some that you can see even like a little bit of truth in, so that you feel like you're resonating with them when you're doing those affirmations. And if you practice it every day, like it's a slow, gradual change, but then one day you will look back and be surprised at where you started. And I used to fall into the same like pitfalls that maybe some of you can relate to, which is thinking that being self-critical is actually productive, because it's better to be able to pick out the things that I'm doing wrong and to change them rather than pretend like they're not there. And to a degree, that's true. But if you focus on your strengths and the things that you're doing right, and you amplify those and you build those up, number one, it really helps your self-confidence, and it can really help your self-esteem and help you have like an internal sense of self, rather than like being more sensitive to what other people say about you. You feel like you know yourself a lot better, and your strengths will naturally help you overcome the things that you're maybe weaker at. So anyway, when doing affirmations, it's good to start honest and find things that you really resonate with and build up your natural strengths. And just remind yourself that in doing that, your strengths will naturally help you combat the things that you're maybe less strong in or less good at. And that if you just hyper focus on the things that you're doing wrong all the time, it might feel like you have more control over those aspects. But in reality, you're just amplifying them, and you're seeding that subconsciously as a way of like defining yourself by these things that you're not very good at, or things that you perceive yourself to be needing improvement on. So those are like the benefits of daily affirmations, is like over time, gradually, it helps you kind of rewire your thinking away from negative self-talk into more positive self-talk, which will build up your strengths. And then art making actually, it helps us regulate our emotions, and it helps us to reach a flow state, which brings us more into the present moment rather than in our head thinking about past experiences or things that we want for the future, or getting distracted by things that aren't like right in front of us, things that we really don't have any control over and shouldn't be putting so much like energy on. And the flow state is something that people try to reach like in meditation and mindfulness, but art making is a really accessible way to also reach that flow state. And there's a lot of science behind how it like helps us regulate our emotions. So when you're making art, it is activating the reward centers in your brain, which releases those like good feeling chemicals like dopamine and serotonin and endorphins. So those chemicals naturally help you regulate your emotions. And art making can kind of seem intimidating, because especially as an adult, because you feel like you feel like you have to be really good in order to do it. Otherwise it's like cringe or embarrassing, but you really don't. When you're doing therapeutic art, the like finished product literally doesn't matter, because it's in the process that you get all the benefits. And so just by doing it, by putting something on your paper, you're gaining all those benefits and you're doing it well. And so by doing those two things in tandem, like doing affirmations and art making, it helps you to like experience those affirmations a lot more deeply and quicker because of the way that art making is activating those reward centers. And it also helps you to regulate anxiety and regulate your emotions so you can like calm down and reset. And in that state of like being calm and resetting, you're incorporating more positive thoughts and more positive observations of yourself. So anyway, that was like the design behind the activity. And this is good even if you like don't struggle with anxiety management or emotion regulation or your mental health. Like if you feel like you're a pretty like stable, healthy person, it can still be beneficial because we always like need that encouragement to build up our strengths and to look at our strengths and to bring like that locus of our self-worth inside of us, like look to ourselves to define our value and who we are and build up our confidence. Like those are always things that we could all benefit from. So I'll show you guys. These are the doodles that I made this week. I did this activity myself for a week, and I'm really glad that I did it because I'm pregnant and I'm in my second trimester. And I thought, this is my first time being pregnant, and I thought that your first trimester was going to be the worst. And so after I was out of my first trimester, I thought, okay, I'm in the clear. But I didn't realize that your hormones just like keep kicking up and kicking up. So like emotionally, it gets harder and harder. It doesn't like stop until you give birth, basically. And so this week, I was really thankful that I did these because in being pregnant also, I have to be off like a lot of my meds that aren't, that don't have research that shows that it's like safe for a baby. So I have less tools and less like fallbacks, like helping regulate my emotional state, and my hormones are getting kicked up. So on two levels, it's like really hard to stay in like a balanced state. And the like issue with emotion regulation is that like day by day, if you're like dysregulated, you might not notice like significant change headed like downhill day by day because it's so slight, but you'll reach a moment where you've been sliding down so far that it starts to be like harder for you to come back, if that makes sense. For example, something that I used to struggle with a lot is panic attacks. And through therapy, I learned that panic attacks, they feel like they come out of nowhere, but they don't. It's like a slow buildup of anxiety that reaches a point where you tip over the edge. That's kind of like what I'm trying to say. So it's important, even though I'm not noticing necessarily like day by day a significant change, because I know that like it's harder for me to regulate my emotions. I was just really glad that I did this activity when I did, because it was helping me a lot to reach a state of regulation every day, so that even though there are like ups and downs naturally in shifting of your mood when your hormones are changing and all that, I at least wasn't like headed in the wrong direction slowly every single day, if that makes sense. Like I wasn't building up slowly anxiety and negative thinking every day. I was reaching a point where I could let all of that go, reach a flow state where I was more focused on like the present moment rather than like compiling and building up anxiety or negative feelings. And so it was really helpful for me, even as somebody who like has made a lot of strides in like a positive direction with my mental health. It's always good to like revisit and like re-solidify those skills. So yeah, I would encourage you to just try it for a week and then see how you feel and see if you notice like you're slowly headed in a more positive direction than like a negative direction. So if I've like convinced you to do this activity, again, the instructions are just to find an affirmation, something that is like, that feels honest to you about something that you think you did well today, or you can look online and find affirmations that maybe you resonate with or you think would help you today. And you just pick one and you focus on it or like channel it into a little doodle or a mini painting. Or you can just think about it while you're doodling and making a little mini painting. And it just takes like 10 minutes. And if you try to do this every day for a week and notice how like your state of being shifts from the beginning of the week to the end of the week, I think you'll really notice a positive difference. It can feel intimidating to do at first, like especially the affirmations part, but if you stick with it, it really does help make some significant changes that help you build up your strengths rather than hyper focus on your weaknesses. So that's my activity for today. I'm going to be posting either tomorrow or on the weekend another therapeutic art tutorial about abstract emotion tracking, which I think pairs really well with this activity. And it also is another really short, like 10-minute thing you can do every day. So check that one out. Subscribe if you want to be notified whenever I'm posting. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a really great day, a really great week, and that you gained something from this tutorial and from watching this and maybe participating in the activity with me. Bye, guys.